The time by Caracas is 6 p.m. and this is CBX Business News. The business news headlines are brought to you by QMax Wealth Management, making more possible. New digital standards, Trinidad's bond soars, and Africa's funding gap. Good evening and welcome to CBX Business News for Friday, July 10, 2026. I'm Rashel Moncrieffe. Thanks for joining us. Coming up, Jamaica has launched a new information security standard aimed at supporting the digital economy and strengthening data protection. Also ahead, Trinidad and Tobago has raised $800 million through an oversubscribed bond issue on the global market, signaling strong investor confidence in the country's debt. And later, a persistent funding gap continues to hold back women entrepreneurs across Africa. Stay with us as we unpack these stories and more right after the break. The local news is brought to you by Derrimon Trading, better from the start. The Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments. Welcome back to CBX Business News. We begin with Jamaica's latest move to strengthen its digital economy. Jamaica is taking another step to strengthen its digital economy with the launch of a new National Information Security Management Standard designed to help businesses protect sensitive information, manage security risks, and strengthen investor confidence. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, BSJ, ISO IEC 27001-2024 Information Security Management Systems Standard supports implementation of the Data Protection Act and is expected to enhance trust in digital services as more business and government operations move online. Speaking at the launch, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Sancia Bennett-Templar, says widespread adoption of the standard will help strengthen Jamaica's appeal as a destination for digital investment.
The strategic importance for Jamaica could not be clearer. Adoption of this standard will help to strengthen our national cybersecurity and data protection framework, improve resilience against cyber threats and operational disruptions, promote secure digital transformation across government and industry, and enhance Jamaica's attractiveness for digital investment, outsourcing, fintech, e-commerce, logistics, and other information-based services.
That was Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Sancia Bennett-Templar. In the meantime, the Office of the Information Commissioner, OIC, notes that protecting information requires more than technology. It demands a structured and consistent approach across organizations. Deputy Information Commissioner Ronald Frew explains.
The ISO IC 27001-2024 gives Jamaica a nationally adopted, internationally recognized standard for building that framework. Certification to this standard signals to regulators, to business partners, and to the public that an organization takes seriously its duty to protect the data entrusted to it.
That was OIC Deputy Information Commissioner Ronald Frew. Barita is preparing to expand beyond its traditional investment business with the launch of its first digital wallet, Brick by Barita, a move that will take the company directly into Jamaica's fast-growing digital payments market. The announcement came during the company's 48th annual general meeting on Thursday, where Barita Merchant Bank acting CEO Dane Brodba outlined plans for a phased rollout of the platform, beginning with a controlled pilot before a full market launch.
But Brick by Barita is really the first step for a mobile banking platform. Now, Barita Merchant Bank's wallet received the Bank of Jamaica's non-objection to launch and is really anchored in financial inclusion. So customers onboard fully in minutes. In fact, a more reasonable measure here would be seconds, and are issued a Visa virtual prepaid card instantly, so they can transact anywhere Visa is accepted from day one, rather than waiting on a merchant network. Person-to-person transfers between wallet holders are free and will build out the merchant ecosystem over time to lower everyday transaction costs further. Now, we're going to shortly begin a controlled pilot before our full-scale launch. Now note, this is only the introductory product. Over time, that channel is going to evolve to include the retail services of Barita Merchant Bank and eventually those of Barita Investments, such that the bank and eventually the financial group is effectively your phone.
At the same time, Barita is also looking to broaden its investment offering by giving the public access to its private credit and private equity strategies. Barita Investments Limited's CEO Ramon Small Ferguson says the company intends to make elements of those investment strategies available to investors over the next 1 to 2 years.
With respect to private credit and equity, having built and honed our skills in origination, cultivating a number of deals through the pandemic and post the pandemic in this space, it's our intention to take elements of that strategy to the public over the course of the next 12 to 24 months, right? It's our intention to really make available the kind of returns that we've been able to generate for the entity and its shareholders available to the public, and that's the next phase of this strategy.
That was Barita Investments Limited CEO Ramon Small Ferguson. On the financial side, Barita Investments says its underlying business remained resilient during the 2025 financial year, despite reporting lower annual profit. The company posted a net profit of $3 billion Jamaican dollars, down 21% from the previous year. However, Chairman Mark Myers says the decline reflects the absence of significant one-off investment gains recorded in 2024, rather than weakness in the company's core operations.
The group delivered net operating revenue of $8.7 billion and a net profit after tax of $3 billion. While net profit declined 21% relative to financial year 2024, that comparison must be read in context, as the prior year carried extraordinary alternative investment gains that were one-off. The more telling signal lies beneath the headline. Revenue from our traditional business lines rose 21%, with fees and commissions up 12% and a 7% reduction in our cost base.
That was Chairman of Barita Investments Limited, Mark Myers. In other news, Jamaica's external reserves remained resilient at the end of June, providing the country with a strong financial cushion against global economic shocks. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, says net international reserves edged up to $6.489 billion at the end of June from $6.484 billion in May. The central bank says the reserves are sufficient to cover just over 40 weeks of projected goods imports and more than 26 weeks of goods and services imports, highlighting the country's continued external stability. The report also shows the monetary base declined by 7.8 billion Jamaican dollars during the month, largely reflecting lower balances held by commercial banks at the central bank. The monthly indicators are closely watched as a measure of Jamaica's stability to meet its international obligations and maintain confidence in the economy. We move to the latest updates from the JSE equities. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 110 stocks, of which 47 advanced, 46 declined, and 17 traded firm. Leading the winners are Productive Business Solution USD ordinary shares, Productive Business Solutions 9.25% perpetual cumulative redeemable preference share USD, MPC Caribbean Clean Energy, and EPLI Limited 7.75% preference shares. While leading the losers are the Limnas and Bards, Sagicor Real Estate X Fund, Radio Jamaica, and 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Variable Preference. The main index advanced by 2,141.21 points to close at 363,627.27 points. The junior market index advanced by 6.57 points to close at 3,002.43 points. It's time for the Market Education feature, brought to you by CARICRIS, Regional Ratings, Global Standards. In today's Market Education feature, we're discussing inventory turnover. Inventory turnover is a financial ratio that measures how many times a company sells and replaces its inventory over a specific period, usually a fiscal year. It can also be used to estimate the average time it takes to sell inventory. This ratio is an important indicator of how efficiently a business manages its stock. A high inventory turnover often suggests strong sales and effective inventory management, while a low turnover may indicate excess inventory, weaker demand, or slower business activity. That was the Market Education feature, brought to you by CARICRIS, Regional Ratings, Global Standards. And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is up next. The local news is brought to you by Derrimon Trading, better from the start. The Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, Tease the Senses, and Pulse Investments.
I'm trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
I'm also trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
Start a conversation with the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Check jamstockx.com for information and a list of registered stockbrokers. You can also call the Jamaica Stock Exchange at 876-967-3271 for information on how to begin. I am achieving my financial goals.
I'm achieving my financial goals.
Okay, I just sent the money. I'll WhatsApp you the tracking number.
Thanks, Daddy. I can't wait to buy that PS5.
Listen to me. Your birthday money is not just for spending. Remember what I told your mom? Remember to open the bank account immediately after collecting the money. Your mom has her ID, TRN, proof of address, proof of income, and your school ID.
I'm not an adult yet, so Mommy will have to open the account with me.
Yes. Anyways, I'm headed back to work, so call me later. I love you guys.
This financial literacy tip is brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, promoting financial inclusion. For more information, visit our BOJ Real Talk playlist on our YouTube channel.
Welcome back. And now for the regional business news. Outgoing CARICOM chairman Dr. Terence Drew is calling for stronger intra-regional trade, emphasizing the region must produce more of what it consumes to keep more trade, investment, and wealth circulating within the Caribbean economy. Speaking during the recently concluded 51st regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government, the St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister argued that while trade imbalances remain between member states, leaders should focus on the broader economic benefits of doing more business with each other.
When I examine the trade figures across the region, for example, St. Kitts and Nevis, I noted that we continue to have significant trade deficit within our sister nation or with our other nations across this region. Some may focus only on that imbalance, but I choose also to see the larger picture.
Dr. Drew says the next step is building stronger Caribbean industries, expanding exports, and keeping more trade and investment within the region to support Caribbean businesses and workers.
I see Caribbean industries employing Caribbean workers. I see Caribbean businesses producing goods that sustain Caribbean families. I see Caribbean dollars circulating within the Caribbean economies instead of leaving our region altogether. Should we continue working toward more balanced trade? Absolutely. Every member state should strengthen its productive capacity and expand its exports. But let us never lose sight of the bigger objective. If our economies continue to grow together, then the Caribbean grows stronger together. Sometimes we become so focused on the challenges immediately before us, and we should. However, we must never forget the extraordinary achievements we have built together over the past 5 decades.
That was outgoing CARICOM chairman and the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew. Bermuda is reporting strong early results from its new digital employment platform designed to help businesses recruit workers more efficiently while connecting job seekers with employment opportunities. 3 months after its introduction, Bermuda Job Connect is showing early signs of adoption. The platform replaces the former Bermuda Job Board and connects employers, job seekers, educators, and workforce partners through a single digital system. In a statement issued today, Labour Minister Jason Hayward says the platform was developed to modernize workforce development services.
Unlike its predecessor, the Bermuda Job Connect is not simply an online vacancy board. It represents a significant transformation in the delivery of workforce development services, providing career planning tools, employability resources, labor market information, online learning opportunities, and enhanced employer recruitment capabilities. The platform enables individuals to create professional profiles, explore career pathways, access training opportunities, and manage employment applications.
Hayward revealed the platform has already attracted more than 1,000 registered users, dozens of employers, and hundreds of advertised vacancies.
Early results demonstrating encouraging adoption by Bermuda's workforce and employer community. Since the launch of the new site, there have been 1,199 users registered on the profile, 80 organizations were successfully onboarded, 167 employment opportunities were actively advertised, 1,509 job applications were submitted, 442 active job seekers were utilizing the platform, more than 2,600 career card views were recorded, 130 online learning courses were in progress, and users collectively recorded 16,500 hours of employability engagement.
That was Bermuda's Economy and Labor Minister Jason Hayward. Trinidad and Tobago has raised $800 million on the international capital market after attracting record demand from global investors, a signal the government says reflects confidence in the country's economic outlook. In a release on Thursday, the Ministry of Finance says the 12-year sovereign bond was oversubscribed by approximately 400%, the strongest investor demand since the country first issued a benchmark-sized international bond in 2013. The government says the financing was secured at a 6.2% coupon, allowing the government to refinance external debt maturing next month while extending its debt repayment profile on more favorable terms. Finance Minister Devendranath Thakur says more than 150 institutional investors from the United States, Europe, the United Kingdom, the Caribbean, and domestic market participated in the transaction. The ministry says the successful issue strengthens the country's access to international capital markets while supporting its long-term debt management strategy. Staying in Trinidad and Tobago, here's an update from the stock market. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 24 securities, of which 6 advanced, 3 declined, and 15 traded firm. Today's winners are One Caribbean Media, Angostura Holdings, Massey Holdings, and Unilever Caribbean, while leading the losers are Trinidad Cement, Point Listas Industrial Port Development Corporation, and Republic Financial Holdings. Trading activity resulted in the following movements. The All-TNT Index advanced by 2.14 points to close at 1,444.13. The Composite Index also advanced, but by 1.11 points to close at 999.35. The Cross-Listed Index remained at 73.24, while the SME Index held steady at 79.13. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is up next.
It smells so good right now. We get the big contract, 50,000 units a month for 3 years. Great, won't need help.
If you are a business owner that requires capital for the expansion of your business, talk to a registered broker today to find out more about listing your company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, an efficient alternative to other financing options.
Thank God for the Jamaica Stock Exchange Junior Market.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
Welcome back. In international news, women entrepreneurs across Africa continue to face significant barriers accessing the financing and business support needed to grow their companies. Speaking during a discussion on investing in women-led enterprises on Thursday, founder and managing partner of Arua Capital, Adesua Okunbo Rhodes, says the private equity and venture capital landscape remains uneven, leaving many small and medium-sized businesses without adequate funding. Rhodes says improving access to capital must also be supported by stronger technical assistance to help entrepreneurs build sustainable businesses.
Another gap is Kelly said it, we need more than just capital for these businesses. So when we invest in our female entrepreneurs, how are we bringing technical assistance around financial education, around optimizing their finance function, around helping them with marketing, helping them with go-to-market, helping them with recruiting? So ensuring that these businesses can be scalable and sustainable, we need to provide more than just capital.
That was Adesua Okunbo Rhodes, founder and managing partner of Arua Capital. Arua Capital is a Lagos-based female-founded and led growth equity impact investment company. Meanwhile, fresh economic data points to slowing industrial activity in Mexico. Mexico's industrial production contracted more than expected in May as weakness spread across much of the economy. Industrial output declined 0.7% compared with a year earlier, reversing April's 2.3% increase and performing worse than market expectations. Manufacturing led the slowdown, falling 1.5% as production of computers and communications equipment declined sharply. Utilities output also weakened, while construction activity edged lower, reversing strong gains recorded in the previous month, despite continued strength in civil engineering projects. Mining and quarrying was the lone bright spot, with growth accelerating to 3.9%, supported by stronger mining-related services. On a seasonally adjusted basis, industrial production fell 0.8% in May, reversing a 2.1% increase in April. And in North America, the value of building permits issued in Canada declined for a second consecutive month in May, pointing to softer construction activity. Building permits fell 1.7% to 12.4 billion Canadian dollars, defying expectations for an increase. The decline was driven primarily by the non-residential sector, where industrial construction permits fell sharply. Residential permits values, however, rose 1.2% as gains in multi-unit housing more than offset weaker single-family construction. Compared with a year earlier, the total value of building permits was down 4.5%. And that's it for the international segment of the newscast. The news recap is coming up on the other side of the break.
You have to be authentic with what you do. You have to be respectful of people. I bought that whilst at Jamaica National and rebranded it as J&J General Insurance Company. It was the first bank ever approved by the regulators in the UK from the Caribbean. And you have to be a genuine leader. You can't try to fluff it around and to pretend.
And now to recap our top stories. In the local news, Jamaica launches new information security standard to strengthen digital economy. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago raises $800 million in oversubscribed bond sale. And internationally, Africa's women entrepreneurs face persistent funding gap. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rashel Moncrieffe. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.